people. All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. This is our Kangen Water Tuesday, our in-depth knowledge by Jodie Kramer tonight in regards to everything that's all about health. Health is so important to so many people, should be on the top of our list. Our health is our wealth. I truly believe that. Our success is our health as well. And so there's so many different modalities and how we all go about into getting better health. Whether, that we just want to share with you one of the easiest and scientifically proven ways to do it, and that's to get in the best form of antioxidant, the best form of detoxification, hydrogen water, as there's so many names to, electrolyzed, reduced water, all these different types of names that you're going to hear tonight. Just and knowing that, Kangen water was the original of how it all started. And it just, now that people are just coming up and making up some new names for it. And that's great because it's the same technology the company's had for over 50 years. It's the same technology so many of us have used for many decades. Myself, 15 years, and just absolutely loving it. So sit back, relax. We've got a group that's on our team it's gonna walk you through this and take you through this the best way with the Jolene and Rita helping us out there. But the star of the show is Jodie Kramer, and she's going to come on from her retail store in Sheridan, Oregon, and share with us, this amazing technology. I'll come back in towards the end and help answer any questions or comments that you might have at the end there. So, Jodie, are you on? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Mic is
I can
on?
hear you for
Good.
sure.
I'll give it
All
to you,
right.
my dear.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Yeah, it has just been a fast week. We've been doing a few things for our online sharing and getting information out. And so I've been on this learning wheel, which is awesome. So I can hopefully bring even more stuff each week. So with that, let me go ahead and get my screen sharing going. And we will get rolling so we can find out all about this great stuff that Ziha's mentioning. Okay, and I'm going to make sure my sound's on because we do have some videos that we're going to be weaving in tonight. So I want to make sure you can hear those. So to reiterate, as Ziha mentioned, I am here at our brick and mortar location in Sheridan, Oregon. It's called the Hydration Station. I do this with my sister, Jolene Smith. And then, of course, my other half, Ken Greenfield, is very supportive in the background helping us. So this is one of the ways that we get the word out and we share information. So it works great as a studio too. I got all my lights up, all this stuff. So anyways, tonight we're going to talk about Kangen water. You've probably heard lots about it and maybe you're like, what is it? What is this advanced hydration? What are these people talking about? Well, we're going to get y'all filled in. And we're also going to talk about Enagic because the two of those go hand in hand. So before we get too far, I want to do a couple housekeeping things, or well, it's more than a couple, right? Because there's a few more on here. But if everyone could, if you feel comfortable, share where you're from, maybe who invited you or where you heard about this, whether it was from a friend, family, social media, somebody you're following or a follower. Rita and Jolene are going to be our co-hosts today. I could not do this without them. This is really a team effort. So I look for them. They will be answering questions in the chat. They're going to be popping in links. They're going to be giving information. So since everybody is on mute, that's going to be your kind of main modality while I'm going through this. But at the end, we are going to open it back up. We're going to be able to share lived experiences that we have with this, answer any additional questions, maybe bring some questions to the group that would be beneficial for everyone if maybe someone didn't see it. So again, sit back, learn, take notes, but above all else, just try to enjoy yourself. This is going to be fun. And the last disclaimer that I have is that this information that we're providing here has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. We are not meant to be a substitute for your medical professionals. We're not here to diagnose, cure, treat, or any of those type of things. But what we are here to do is to give you some educational information. We're just here to deliver some factual stuff and, of course, our lived experience with the Kangen water. So tonight, a little more about me. I come from an IT background originally, kind of bolted on that career in 1997, dating myself. And in 2012, moving forward, I got introduced to Kangen water by a good friend of mine. I was having some health challenges, I would say, with my diabetic journey that the medical folks and different, I was going on. I've been on it for 4 years and I really wasn't seeing quite the results I'd like. And my friend really was excited to share this with me. And just out of the gate, I was skeptical. I was stubborn. I was obnoxious. She was in Mexico, so I could really just like, yeah, 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 and then just like not do anything about it till she returned. And she got back into geographical proximity, and I went and saw something very similar to what you're going to see this evening. And I was pleasantly surprised. And in the long term, I was actually grateful to be wrong, and she was right. So, with my IT background and my, almost 12 years of Kangen water, August is my official date. I got my firstborn Kangen machine. And so it's just been a ride. It's been really fun. And I couldn't do this also and have gotten this far without Siha Top. He has been my mentor. He's been somebody who's coached me, guided me, helped me along the way. And I've been blessed that my friend found the right people that she locked arms with so that we could learn. There's a lot of different ways to do the same thing, but we found the right way, the heart-centered way, just with a huge vision and somebody who never lets us down and is always there. So you're going to hear a little bit more from Siha. He's a little modest about himself, but we're very fortunate to have him with us this evening. So I'm not sure what brought part of you here, if it was like maybe you're wanting to work on areas of your health, maybe you're looking to, you're tired of plastics and pollution, you'd like to do something, give back to the earth. Maybe it's just to save money and time. Maybe you're buying bottled waters, you're buying glug glug, I call them glug glugs, but those big glug glug water cooler things, get home delivery. Maybe you're looking for a better solution than that. And possibly you just want to enhance your wellness, your vitality, and your spirituality. And, spirituality seems kind of like, why is that in there? But, when we kind of get our health in line and we get more energy and we have a little more time in many different ways, it really helps the overall peace of mind that I have found for me. So I was able to do this by focusing on my health because that's what my friend was concerned about and me. And I just simply changed my water and it did change my life. Like I can't imagine where I would be today if I hadn't have found this. Our family has had struggles with type 2 diabetes. My grandfather struggled with it for years on my mom's side. My mom struggled with it, and our mom passed at an early age of 62 to 63 of diabetic complications in 2012 in January. So, I knew that I needed to do something different and I wanted to take a different path. And so you're going to see tonight how I was able to do that and how if it sounds too good to be true, we always say it is probably not true, but this is one of those things that is. So grateful you're all here with us. So I'm going to play a little video to give you an intro to Kangen water and a little intro to what we'll be kind of covering. We got a short pocket of time and I'm going to try and keep myself moving and pack this in. So let's listen to the video here and then I'll come right back.
Imagine your body as a thriving ecosystem where every cell, every tissue, every organ is continually replenished and revitalized. Now picture this, around 60% of this ecosystem is water. Surprising, isn't it? Water, the elixir of life, forms the foundation of our very existence. Enter Kangen water, a revolutionary concept in health and hydration. More than just a drink, Kangen water is a lifestyle change, a commitment to a healthier, happier you. Kangen water, simply put, is ionized alkaline water. But it's much more than that. It's a powerful antioxidant, a cleanser, and a hydrator. It helps to neutralize free radicals, those pesky villains that cause aging and disease. It assists in flushing out toxins from our bodies, leaving us feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. But the benefits don't stop there. Kangen water, with its alkaline properties, helps balance our body's pH levels. In a world filled with processed foods and stress, where acidity is the norm, Kangen water provides a much-needed reprieve. It's like giving our bodies a mini detox every day. Keeping hydrated with Kangen water can also boost our energy levels and enhance our cognitive functions. It's like a fuel that keeps our bodies running smoothly and efficiently. And the best part? Kangen water is eco-friendly. By reducing our reliance on bottled water, we're not just improving our health, we're also doing our bit for the planet. So, are you ready to embark on a journey towards better health and hydration? Are you prepared to make a change, not just for yourself, but for the environment too? The path to wellness begins with Kangen Water. So you are ready to take the first step? Great. Then you are in the right place and time to get started.
Absolutely. So these are the things that we're going to be touching on. And it's really crazy when you think, wow, just this hydrogen-rich water can do these different things for my body. Really, we're that much water. It's just so many nuggets of fact
Imagine
there. So we're going to kind of back up a little bit. You know, we talked about Kangen Water here, and we're going to go over that. But I want to kind of level set where it comes from. Because oftentimes when we're talking to friends and family and folks, they're like, what is this thing? You know, nowadays they get on the internet, you know, and they kind of, you've probably already Googled or you're doing it as we're speaking. But anyways, the Kangen water comes from a water ionizer. And this water ionizer is called Enagic. Kangen water only comes from Enagic water ionizers. This one here is the Mighty K8. It is the current flagship model. It has 8 medical grade plates, kind of take note of that. 230 watts of power, second important thing. The LCD touchscreen is the third piece to me that makes this whole thing roll. And it's really kind of nice. The new one has these little icons similar to your smartphone, just super easy. And this unit talks to you as well. So it helps you out along the way, lets you know what it's doing, all that kind of stuff. Now, the machine makes more than just drinking water. So if drinking water, or when you think of your health, oftentimes it's hydration, right? So we want to hydrate our body. Well, the number one way is to consume it. Okay. But the machine makes 7 types of water. And the reason that it's important and exciting that it does make 7 types of water beyond drinking is so that we can get other uses out of it. Because if we're trying to go eco-friendly, we're trying to get rid of chemicals, maybe we have sensitive skin, we have breathing issues, things like that, where chemical things, you know, cause an impediment to our quality of doing things. Well, this machine makes these waters that you can disinfect with, you can clean with, you can emulsify oils, you can use it in your laundry. This one here, the 6.0, I was getting ready and I got my hair all washed and everything, and I just doused it with a whole lot of 6.0. It just helps lay down stuff and make it real light, nice, and less frizzy. So you can use it as a toner and astringent on your face. Like I have these little squirt bottles. These are plastic, but I get like a multiple use, long-term use plastic. And this you can just spray all over your face after you wash it. It balances it out. It's just incredible the different ways you can target in to save money and enhance your life. So we're going to cover a lot of these tonight, but we are going to start with the drinking waters first. So that machine I said is a water ionizer. I also said, hey, pay attention. It's got 8 medical grade plates. It's got 230 watts of power and it has a screen. Okay, well, the screen is the button you press to say, hey, I want this water, I want that water, whatever it is, right? So that's kind of the instruction, you know, like kind of the captain of the machine. And then it sends information to these medical grade plates, the 8 of them, and the 230 watts of power work together with the plates to actually restructure, reduce the size of the water that comes into the machines. These things just sit, this is a real background behind me. They just sit on your countertop. There's other ways we have different installations too, which make it look really nice and really sleek depending on what your kitchen looks like. But they just super easy hook up and you divert that water into it. It does have a little filter in it because sometimes people are like, oh, that's a Kangen water filter. Well, it does have a little filter that takes out chlorine and different things that we're going to talk about tonight that we really don't want in the water. But it restructures the water through this ionization process. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and this is super short. So if you blink, you might miss it, but you can definitely catch it on the replay. So here we go.
One of the most important things to understand about water ionizers are the plates. Enagic uses solid titanium plates individually cut to size and then coated in platinum. And the SD501 has 7 of the largest plates in the industry. The plates are important because these plates are then charged with electricity, becoming the engine of the ionizer. When the water passes over the plates, the minerals in the water are separated into 2 streams of water, one alkaline and one acidic. The more plate surface area and the more power you can apply to the plates, the better the separation and the better the quality of the ionized water.
Okay, so as you can see, those plates are super important, and that's why the quality of the plates, the size of the plates, make a huge difference. Now, this is one of the reasons in retrospect, I was like, oh my God, thank goodness my friend Sheila got the right ionizer, because if you've been doing some research or getting on the internet, there are lots of water ionizers. They're made by lots of different companies, but Enagic is a 50-year-old company. These water ionizers come from Japan. They are considered a medical grade unit. They have international standards organization certifications. They have water quality certifications. Like, if we're going to consume something in our body and we're worried about our overall health and things like that, we really want to make sure that we're getting the absolute best quality. This is why we can travel with our units. We can travel with the water itself. We can get on airplanes because it is a medical grade type water. And I utilize it for my type 2 diabetes, which is a medical issue that I have with a formal diagnosis. So there's a lot of ones out there. We're here tonight to give you information. So as you do your research, you will kind of see there are stark and vast differences, just like anything. When we buy cars, we buy other things, there's always a huge difference in what we get and where we get it from.
One of the
So tonight we're going to start with the drinking waters, 8, 5, 9, and 9.5. We call these Kangen water because they come out of a Enagic water ionizer. Okay, so this is a brand name. So this is like Chevy is Chevrolet's, but it's really just a car. You know what I mean? In a sense. So Kangen water, if you're Googling it or researching, what I really want you to do is to look for the scientific name. It is electrolyzed reduced water or electrolyzed restructured water, ER water, or ERW is an acronym that gets used. The best place to start researching these is on Google Scholar or PubMed, which is the official US government website for scientific studies, peer-reviewed articles, things like that. This is an actual type of water that has different properties to it, and they've found different beneficial uses of it. And especially the quality and the stability of the water makes a huge impact on the effectiveness of the water. So the water that comes out of the Enagic ionizer has an extreme antioxidant property, has a high alkalinity, depending on what button you've pressed, and it is what I call microclustered. That's what's going to give you the advanced superior hydration. We have a lot of folks that come in and they're just like, I hate water. I don't drink water. It tastes terrible. I feel bloated if I do drink it, and so the nice thing is once they start consuming their Kangen water with their unit, they are like, wow, this is so different. And they're able to swap out the things that maybe weren't so good for them, but that they were doing, and get the hydration they need. It's really great. And of course, as Neha mentioned, the active hydrogen, we are the originator with a 50-year-old company from Japan that has been creating this. And when you have all 4 properties, you get what I call a quadfecta of health. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about are the antioxidants. And antioxidants are important because, as the video mentioned, we come in contact with different pollution, chemicals. You see cigarettes, there's also things in the body that create what we call free radicals. There's also free radicals and toxins, different things like that. And in order to mitigate free radicals, because if we don't do something about them, there's too many of them, and we don't have a good alkaline or an antioxidant like savings account, essentially, like a buffer of them, then the free radicals, they're basically just an unbalanced little unit there that needs an extra electron. And so in order, they know they need one, so they run around and they snatch electrons from healthy cells. And if they continue to do that too much and too long, those cells, they lose their integrity, they'll even die. And so antioxidants are super important because they have that free electron, that free donor to give up to the free radicals and help get them out of our body. Hence, a really gentle daily mini detox, because it's pairing up with that stuff and helping to usher it out of our bodies. Now, you'll see blueberries, green tea, vitamin C, those are antioxidants. Like, so if your doctor or other people are like, you're in naturopath, you got to eat more fruits and vegetables. That's why, because they do give you antioxidants. So the really awesome thing when you buckle in and add on your Kangen water is the Kangen water antioxidants are available immediately. As soon as you start consuming a glass of Kangen water, those antioxidants are ready to go right to work. And so you got them going right to work. You're eating your blueberries and your good food. They're digesting and doing their business. The body's uptaking them at some point. And so what we've also found is by switching out and getting on the Kangen water path, you're able to utilize and uptake all these other modalities of health supportive things because you've got the proper foundation, what I call in the body. If we're 60% water, you swap it out. Now the body's able to function better, in my opinion. And you're doing other supplements or smoothies or shakes or greens and different things, like it all works more synergistically together. So I'm not totally going to just talk all night. I am going to pause here in a minute probably, but I want to go over this scale here. Okay, so it's an oxidation reduction potential oxidation scale. So what it's going to do is there's a little meter up in the corner, and that little meter is going to measure the voltage in millivolts in these beverages that I brought for us to test out tonight and tell us, is it positively charged or is it negatively charged? And the reason why positive versus negative is important is because 0 is considered in the middle. It's not negative, it's not positive. So anything that is above 0 is going to be considered oxidative, bad for the body. In too much excess can lead to sickness, problems, not so good. That's why you'll see sodas, tap water, bottled water on that side of the scale. Anything below 0 is going to be considered an antioxidant. So vitamin C, green tea, cod liver oil, and of course, Kangen water is down closer to the -400 range. Okay. And the, we call this living water for a reason. And we are testing out the voltage to see what is this going to provide to us? What's it going to enable us to do? Now, fortunately, I have a little meter just like this one. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to get my little cups out. And I ended up getting an actual it's not a tripod, but it's a little stand. So it's so nice. I come in here and it's like, okay, it's lined up. It's right where it should be. So you guys can see everything and I don't have to be swooning in and making a whatever of myself. So we're going to test tonight's Sprite. We're going to see if Sprite has antioxidants in it. See if it's health giving to the body. See what it's possibly going to do for us. Move my mouse. Okay, so we're going to put the Sprite over here. Now for bottled water, actually, hold on. I have, is that what I want? Do I want this or do I want the liquid death? I think we're just going to go for liquid death tonight. So last week I was complaining about this because, water is really special. Nothing lives without water, and the fact water has a memory, water is living. And when you imprint it with stuff like liquid death, and then you cram it with some sparkling stuff, and this side of this can is just out of control. It says stuff like murdering this, brutalizing that. I mean, this is just my opinion, of course, but when you're going down the bottled water aisle, look, we're getting marketed to with this crazy marketing. And I just think this is disturbing to me. So while I was there getting the disturbing liquid death, I got some Albertsons store brand water. And these are about the flimsiest little containers I've seen. They about look like I feel like a Ziploc bag gone bad. I think my Ziploc, I have a Ziploc freezer bag, so I'm telling to myself, right? But I swear this is thinner than that thing. So anyways, we're going to talk about microplastics because they are a real thing with certain stuff. So anyways, this is Albertsons Safeway, and it represents all bottled waters. This is the Sheridan Municipal Water, which provides water to the residents of Sheridan, the businesses, the federal prison. We have one of those here in Sheridan, so that's real exciting. The municipal system is governed by the Environmental Protection Agency at the federal and state levels. So as we talk about the Sheridan water, and when we talk about like the Safeway water and like these things over here are governed by the Food and Drug Administration, and there's a lot of self-reporting. And like sometimes you might not even hear that a bottled water has an issue, or they don't even know it has a problem until somebody gets sick. And then the next thing you know, it's on the news and they're recalling a bunch of water. This just happened a couple, 2-3 months ago in Washington State for Fiji water. You know, but the municipal systems, they have to report on a real strict basis. And so we often know, you know, you'll get a notice a lot faster that, oh, you need to boil your water, you need to do this for that. So these are just little nuggets of extra information for you all. This here is the 9.5 that I drink every day that came out of the machine behind me, right there. It's an 8-year-old machine. And yeah, let's see which of these is going to have antioxidants or not. So we're going to start with the 7-Up. And again, this meter, we're looking for a dash. Okay, if there's a dash, that's negative charge, has antioxidants. If there's no dash, it is a positive and is oxidative to the body. So I see that looks like a positive 345 is where it looks like it's landed to me. Somewhere in that range. Okay. We'll wiggle it around like I'm going to do in all of them. So right under 400. Super. All right. This is the liquid death. Let's just see what this is. Sparkling liquid death. Bottled in Virginia. So that's the other thing. Oftentimes these bottled waters and different waters are really just done at a municipal system, and then they scrub it to death. Like literally they take everything out of it and then they throw a few things back in it so that it tastes better. So yeah, sometimes you're not really paying for the water coming from this giant mountain and just this beautiful region. So this one here is the Safeway water. As we can see, this one was oxidative to the body. I didn't figure it wouldn't be. This is also oxidative to the body, but it is lower than the soda, which I would hope, because right, we're buying bottled water. This is going to be the Sheridan Municipal Water, and this one is going up. It looks like we're in about the 500 range, and that's kind of typical. Due to the larger regulatory framework, they have a list of things they can put into the water to make sure it's clear, to make sure it doesn't have germs when it gets to your house, and a number of other things. Excuse me, my fan is blowing a little excessive. So anyways, so this is the same water ran through the unit behind me, and this is what we've got. We've got a negative about 800. Wowzers, that machine was like, I'm going to work tonight. So this is awesome. This is just the best example of how a positive 600 that's oxidative, by disconnecting a medical grade Kangen Enagic unit to your faucet, turn the water on, divert it in, you get antioxidants, glass after glass. And Dr. Horst Filter, who's on our Enagic advisory board, but he found out about us through a patient initially, he said you can't eat enough fruits or blueberries and stuff in a day to come close to a regular size glass of this fresh out of your unit. Fresh is best because the properties that we're showing tonight are most effective when they come straight out of that unit. You can bottle it, you can take it to work. When I say bottle it, put it in your container, whatnot, take it to work, take it wherever you're going. But if you're home and you're around your unit, I always say just go straight to the unit and get a nice fresh glass. If you need super cold water, because a lot of folks are like, I really got to have it cold. We encourage and we talk to you how to get some standard ice cube trays and a few other things so that you can have your 9.5 ice cubes, because you want your ice cubes to match your water. So they're all one and the same. So anyways, we're going to talk about the next property, which is the high alkalinity. So let me share my screen. Okay. So the alkaline scale and alkalinity is, of course, different. It's a different property, right? And this here is just a little slide I threw in to kind of give you some visuals of things that are considered acidic foods. Some of these things are good for us. Some of them we eat, some of them might be borderline, and some of them aren't. But as the video said, almost everything is acid forming. There's so many foods and stuff like that. It is hard to balance out all the acidity that we get from our food and nutrition, but also just things like stress, even working out, which is a good thing. Like, keep working out, right? But to get rid of, when your muscles need to recover, the lactic and uric acids in your muscles, like, they need to get out of your system. If you've gotten like a massage, like a deep tissue massage, they're going to tell you drink lots of water, you know, and that is because they want you to get in and flush these things out to help the body bounce back. Well, there's nothing better than the Kangen water, because it goes in and it starts helping to neutralize and balance out the acidity in our bodies. Now, I'm going to show you which ones of these tonight are acidic or possibly not acidic. And we're going to measure these on a scale too. So you'll see in front of you here, this one goes from 0 to 14. It kind of looks like the colors of a rainbow, because it is. And for this scale, 7 is going to be in the middle. 7 is considered neutral, okay? And anything below 7 is considered acidic. Anything above 7 is considered alkaline, okay? And what I found, when everything is so acid forming, just by simply starting to consume my Kangen water, I was able to give my body a reserve of alkaline buffers to use, kind of like the antioxidant reserve. We're getting an alkaline reserve. Because as you probably saw before I put this over there, this says 7.365 blood pH. The blood is just slightly alkaline, and the blood is one of the giant transport systems in the body, along with the lymphatic system to support it. And so this always has to be at 7.365 to 7.45, and it can't vary outside of that. So your body was born, our body's this giant miracle. Like, we were born with enough buffers in the day to take us through our journey of life. But of course, foods, lifestyle, things have changed. And so we're burning through them more rapidly. This is why you're seeing a lot of kids getting adult diseases earlier and earlier. And you're seeing adults getting things that, you know, I'm 53. Okay. And in my day, folks weren't getting arthritis and different ailments and things like that until they were closer to their 70s, 60s, 70s, up in that range. And we see folks every day coming in the door that are just, they're tired, they're sore, they've got arthritis, they've got, you know, acid reflux, they got all kinds of things. Like, we've seen it over the last 11 years. We started the first brick and mortar in 2013, and we've had one moving forward ever since, with the exception of a few months. And so we've seen stuff from top to bottom, from babies to, you know, end of life people that we help. And so that acidity is something that really is a big deal. Too much acidity will lead to inflammation, and too much inflammation in the body that goes left unchecked or unmitigated is going to cause some sort of manifested illness or symptom or something that crops up. So I found this is really one of the easiest ways to get my body a bunch of different modalities that it needs. Now, 7 being in the middle, this is a logarithmic scale. So where I was like, wow, this was 600, this was, you know, whatever, 800, that's 1400. This one's different because this is logarithmic, kind of like an earthquake scale. Okay, so when we go from 7 to 2.5, it's 50,000 times more acidic, okay, than 7. If we go from 7 to 11, right, or 11.5, that's 50,000 times more alkaline. This is why I can pitch a half a gallon of 11.5 in my clothes washer along with the regular water that goes in, and it cleans them. Like, it takes grease out, it takes diesel out, it takes pet smells out. I mean, like, you name it. I have been literally shocked that it actually worked. Because when I was skeptical, I really thought that this person that I was seeing was just full of crap, really. I was just like, there's no way that it's going to do all that stuff. And again, my ego was totally okay to be wrong. So as I got my unit, after about, I don't know, 4 to 6 months is what I think I said, I started testing out the rest of the stuff, because I was like, well, I already got it for drinking, so I might as well see if the rest of this stuff works. So in order to show you if this stuff is going to be alkaline or acidic, I have these things. Okay, well, I think this is the fullest one. There we go. I have a little stash of them. So when you get into your Kangen journey, and if you get passionate like we are, and you're like, hey man, I want to help all these folks and I want to do things, you're like, I don't want to run out of these things because they're like the awesome visual indicator tool. So these are phenol red, phenol blue drops. You can get them on Amazon, you can get them at fish stores, you can get them practically anywhere. I mean, they don't have them at the grocery store, but they're easy to get, okay? And they measure the spectrum from 0 to 14, so the full pH scale. So if you try this with your fish tank or your sauna drops, I always say this, but inevitably, if I don't, somebody's going to go home and try it with these other drops, and they're a shorter range, and so you won't get the right results. So if you're ready to go live on your social media account, if you don't know what these are for sure, hit me up, and we'll make sure you've got the right ones. I'm going to try and put 8 in each one. Okay, I think I might have ripped this one off, but that's okay because it's purple. All right, so you don't have to try to remember. I have another little part that will work well. So you can, there we go. So you can see. All right, so this one is a little more cute. It's like we got a stop sign or we got a thumbs up. So smiley face, frowny face. We're going to go through the motions here. So this Sprite is acidic. This does represent all colas, all sodas, all you know, carbonated pops and things like that. I used the clear because I wanted it to turn colors. It would be harder for me to get root beer to turn colors for me. I have to whip out some extra stuff. So this is acidic, okay? Not good for you. This is the liquid death. You know, I guess its marketing is right, you know, liquid death. That is not giving me any antioxidant, and it is not alkaline, okay? So 2 strikes. This is the Safeway water. It's a little bit more yellow, but it is still acidic, okay? It's still below 7. So I'm really frustrated with that one because we've been marketed to and sold to for a long, long time that we need to practically shamed if you don't have bottled water at all your events or all these fancy things. So, or at the gym, if you're not swinging the right one as you're going to the next piece of exercise equipment. So when you start learning about Kangen water, you're just going to be like, hey, I'm just going to sport my Kangen water bottle with a little labeling if I want on it. And it's just a one-time, you know, I'm going to buy that thing one time. I'm going to use it over and over. This is the Sheridan water. And you know what? Look, that one is almost neutral, like it should be. And when I say should be, that's because of the regulatory framework. It has to be at a 7. That's why they're given a list of things they can put in it that will help it be at a 7. Because as oxidative as it was, it should, in theory, be more acidic. But they put in things like ash, lye, and other stuff that's inexpensive to boost the alkalinity, okay? So when you go down the bottled water aisle and you see things like Essentia, you see things like Core, you would see all these other different new alkaline, you know, supposedly they have all this hydrogen and all this stuff in it. You can't bottle hydrogen up and have it last for 2 or 3 years, okay? And when you look at the back of them, they have ingredients on them. Like they have things like magnesium sulfate, sodium bicarbonate, you know, and the reason that's why they're can say they're alkalines because they're throwing things in it. Okay. We are electrically changing this the same way Mother Nature does things up in with the clouds, the lightning, the water, the mountains, the different things like that. We're just taking electricity and energy and we're zapping the water. Like that's all we're doing. So this isn't full of a bunch of other stuff. And that's oftentimes why your doctor might be like, hey, don't be consuming a whole bunch of that stuff because you're going to get mineral deficiency or too much mineral, whatever. And it's because of the stuff that are put in it. So the Kangen water, different story. It's electrolyzed. That's why it's called electrolyzed, reduced, or restructured water. Okay. If you've been drinking these things and you start drinking the 9.5, can you balance your body? Yeah, absolutely. Depending on where you're at and what you've been doing, it's just going to take you a little longer to get where you want to be. And that's okay, because it took you a while to get where you're at already. So in order to take a new path and go a new direction, we just got to take the first step and understand where you're trying to go. And between myself and others, the folks who invited you, they're going to help mentor and coach you to get as close to that destination as absolutely possible. So just remember, if you've balanced your body out, okay, with the 9.5, and you think, oh, I'm just going to have a little bit of soda or a little bit of liquid death, just a little bit takes out all of your balancedness, okay? So get these things out. If you've got kiddos that are drinking these things, especially get it out. The Japanese and other call this, the soda's cancer in a can or cancer in a bottle, because it's so acidic that if the body has a hard time, you know, kids get, you know, a Happy Meal, or we go as an adult and get a soda, get a free refill, you know, or you go to a convenience store and, you know, the next thing you know, you've drank like a half gallon of soda pop or whatever. And that's a lot, or even a gallon, like the 2-liter. I know people that prior to doing the Kangen water would drink a whole 2-liter, like they just pack it in their lunch. Like, that's a lot. Anyways, so I think you get the drift. So let's move on. Next one we're going to talk about is the microcluster. So bottled waters, big waters, tap water have what I call large clusters that limits absorption. It doesn't get into the cells as easily. When it is restructured and zapped with the Kangen unit, it becomes small clusters. They can get in and penetrate, hydrate, and rejuvenate your cells. You get about 80% absorption of the Kangen water. 20% is going to exit the body because of the superior hydration. I mean, in 30 to 60 seconds, it's actually getting into the body and going to work. It's crossing over the blood-brain barrier. That is a very difficult thing to get stuff across. We have brain trauma specialists and other folks on our team. We have medical doctors, we have chiropractors, we have everyday folks like myself, IT geeky folks, we've got stay-at-home moms, we've got everybody, you name it. But the nice thing is we come with a wealth of experience and knowledge to help you with your questions and to help you where you're going. So when the water is smaller in size, shape, and structure, and our foundation is water, in my opinion, and based on the facts, we're 60% water at a minimum, that proper foundation makes a proper hydration makes a huge difference on the foundation of the body. So when we have all of these trillions of cells, and our cells are made up of water. Our cells are like little mini universes. They got a bunch of components in them. They're doing their thing. They're made of water. They are surrounded by water. This is what a healthy, happy blood cell looks like. This is what one that's not so happy looks like. It's oxidized, it's dehydrated. It looks like they would catch on one another. They're not buoyant. They're not repellent. They will stack up in a what's called a rouleau effect. Like a stack of coins, you know, like we don't want our blood stacked up. We want it free flowing. We want it going about its business. We want it doing what it needs to do. So with this type of water, you're going to be able to support and get to the maximized, healthy, hydrated looking cells in the body. Okay, I'm going to pause sharing and I'm going to show you how this hydration works. And I'm going to use well, first of all, it's a green tea. You can get this right off Amazon, like I'm going to do, because I think I only have 3 bags left in here. So that's an estimate to sharing, right? And helping people because we're showing them how the hydration works. So this little tea bag is going to represent our body, okay? And so I want you to put on your creativity, imagination hats with me. And we're going to pretend that this tea bag is our body and the tea leaves inside of it are like the cells of our body. Because tea leaves are just plant cells, right? And when we make tea, we are trying to hydrate the tea bag. We want to bring out the stuff out of the cells of the tea to give us tea. So I'm going to use my Safeway water and see, can I make tea with this? Can I hydrate? Can I detox my little tea body here? And it's, you know, it's not doing a whole lot in there. And some of you might be like, well, it's not doing anything because you didn't boil it. Like, hello, it needs to be boiled, you know, because that is true. Or you're going to throw it out in the sun in a glass jar and let it sit out there for half a day or something, right? Well, the reason that we boil water is because water, when it's boiled, the molecules excite and it gets smaller and water becomes steam. And eventually, if you boil that pot too long, and it would all boil away. And it isn't really away, it's gas now, it's in the air. But that's when you boil things, it's to get it into stuff, it's because it's smaller. Okay. Now I gave this a fair shot to sit in there and do whatever. And I'm going to put the Kangen water on it, 9.5. And look at that. I really didn't even have to flip it around and give it a whole chance. Like, it just went right to work. I threw it on it. It's like, oh, hey, I can actually now do what I need to do. I'm going to detox my tea body. I'm going to make tea. I'm going to feel a lot better, right? So the first time skepticalness here saw this, I really thought that he had a magic tea bag. And I'm not kidding, because his son is a magician. So I thought, oh, he's just got a tea bag that's all fancy schmancy. And so he did the same thing. We're very similar. Threw some different water on it. This big water, that's the Sheridan water. And again, didn't do anything. And so Negative Nancy here was like, well, that's because it's all used up. Like, that's why it's not working. And so put some more on it, and hence I was wrong. So this, again, just goes to work. Now, when you get your unit and you're like, oh, wow, I've got this awesome superior hydration going, and your phone's ringing. The nice thing is we're going to encourage you to use this, though, to make your tea, to make your coffee, to make your smoothies. Anything you use water for, we want you to use your Kangen water out of your Kangen unit, because you're going to get better taste, better mileage. You're going to get more coffee out of your grounds, or they're going to be stronger. You're going to get a couple runs on your Keurig cup. I mean, it goes on. Like, we have some folks when they got their unit and they started drinking their coffee with this stuff, and they'd go over to their friend's house and they'd refuse to drink coffee. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, you're not just going to choke that down to be nice to your friend? And they're like, nope, not till I get home. Get my Kangen coffee. And I was like, okay, if you must. But anyways, it's huge. It really is just like your taste buds start getting to have an attitude of their own. So if you've been drinking Sheridan water and you start drinking Kangen water 9.5, can you hydrate yourself? And the same with the Safeway water. Now, we know you're going to hydrate yourself because I've kind of shown you some stuff. But what I want to show you is that where the big water couldn't get in and make the tea with my tea body, right? The tea was there. It had shook it out of the bag somewhat, but the little water is what was needed to get in and actually do something with it. So this is the best example of, as soon as you're drinking it, it's going to work. It is just doing its thing. Okay. So hopefully, I know this was an inexpensive, real simplistic way to do it, but I appreciate y'all going with me, being creative, because it really, visuals are some of the best. So you can actually see, and you might have seen this recorded like on a, on social media or wherever. And like, it's cool. Like, I saw a whole bunch too, but sometimes it's kind of fun to see it in person. So hopefully you're all enjoying yourself. So I have a few more things to share about the special waters, because you might want to be like, well, okay, I got drinking nailed. Okay, I know how I can use the drinking. What about these other things? You said you can go chemical free, you can have no wasted plastics. And I definitely do that using the 11.5, 2.5, and the 6.0. Now, I mentioned that there are microplastics in these things, and there's also microplastics in other containers, other things. Even they say it comes off our clothes and other stuff. But anyways, they say that we consume DNA-sized plastics in our body. So we're not going to go over all these articles or all of the high points, but we are going to make sure you get the replay. If you are here with us, we'll make sure you get the replay. And Jolene and Rita are going to be popping in links in the chat so that you can look these articles up. They are recent, like in the last month or two. So yeah, really kind of crazy. Microplastics are in the cardiovascular, and they harm brain health. One of the things I want to catch before I swoop by this slide is the mitigation point, because I asked ChatGPT. So if you're wondering, like, where do these little high points come from? I said, hey, ChatGPT, I got this awesome article. I need you to help me out here and give me some factual high points from this thing. And so this is what it came up with. So this wasn't just Jodie's opinion, you know. So the mitigation, of course, reduce using the plastics and, you know, improve the waste management, but use antioxidants. Yay. Where do we get antioxidants from? Kangen Water. Okay. That's where I get them all the time. And of course, omega-3s, right? So like, this is super great to know that all these microplastics, even found in male reproductive organs of recent, you know, like we're ingesting a credit card worth a week, a AA battery a month. And the way to combat this, in addition to just hydrating and supporting your health, the Kangen water's properties enhance detoxification. It brings antioxidant properties. It improves the pH balance, better nutrient absorption, enhanced immune function. These were things I also worked in conjunction with ChatGPT and said, help me out here. I want to know what do you think? Like, I don't want just my opinion. What do you think? And this is what it told me. And this is where it got it from. Okay, so we're putting all that in the chat for you because, again, this is informational. We want to make sure that you've got these things at your fingertips so that you can decide what's best for you, what's best for your health, your kiddos, your family, your fur babies, your community, your whoever. Okay, so we're not here to sell. We're here to inform and give you the tools you need to make a good choice. So the strong acidic water 2.5, while you're researching things, I want you to look for hypochlorous acid. That is the scientific name. So Google Scholar, PubMed, that's where you're going to see information about hypochlorous acid. It does kill 99.999% of bacteria and germs, dismantles them within 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Hand sanitizer works for first aid. I don't use hydrogen peroxide or anything like that. I just use 2.5. Goes right to work. You can sanitize. It does brighten whites. You put some in like a pre-wash or in a certain part of your laundry, which we know how all that works with front loaders, top loaders, whatever loaders, to help support your laundry extravaganza. Because in addition to the 2.5, the 11.5 is also, it loves the laundry machine as well, the washing machine. But in addition to that, the 11.5 goes to work on our fruits and vegetables and different things. It will remove oil-based pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides. And why did I have this slide up here with this spraying going on? Because this is what happens to in the agriculture industry. They're spraying these things on the crops, the agriculture, the produce, because they want to not have as much damage from bugs and different things like that damage it. You know, and you can see this person is not dressed. I always say this, but it's not dressed for the beach, not going out on the town. This individual is in high protective gear, okay? And there is more and more stuff coming out and more studies on cancer and the different related health things in this type of industry around these type of things, okay? So hence the 11.5, like that's whatever that they use it. I don't like that, but okay. But when it gets to the store and it gets to my house, oftentimes there's still that stuff left on it, okay? So some of you might have seen there's like veggie wash. That's the new thing that they've decided to make money on and market to. Let's spray crap on your fruits and vegetables, and then we're going to charge you veggie wash. So like, you don't need veggie wash anymore. You got your Kangen unit. It's going to make 11.5 for you, and it's going to take that stuff off your fruits and vegetables and other things. I use it on my stove. I use it in my oven. I use it to break the protein bonds down. I can soak my meats in it. I can marinate them. It'll actually get in and take a lesser cut of meat and get into the meat and actually make it tender and soft and just, it's amazing. Additionally, you can use it in the laundry. Okay, that's super. And you can use it as a first aid modality or in your, you know, kind of your kit, right? You can put it directly on sunburns. You can put it on bruises. Matter of fact, I stupidly put my tea back in the microwave because it had gotten lukewarm and I didn't want it hot. And I put it in there for 3 minutes. I'm talking to my sister, running my mouth. And the next thing I know, I go to grab it and I'm like, what the? Like that, I should have known it looked like it was boiling. Anyway, so I grabbed it. I was like, what the hell? So sorry for my cussing, but it was really like, I was like, can't even believe I did that, first of all. So I immediately turned to my Kangen unit at my sink, and I flipped on my 11.5, and I just ran it right here on my hand for, I don't know, a couple minutes or so. Then I put a little on a towel and just kind of held it there, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so while I was finishing it. No redness, no nothing. And I do this all the time. My sister was like, wow, what would we do if we didn't have that machine right there? I was like, I don't know, but it really does sound like too good to be true, but it's just crazy making. That's what I do nowadays. Oh, I got burnt up right to my machine. So I'm a little super excited about certain things tonight. And so whatever it is that you want to do with your unit, we got videos, tools, whatever, you know, you think you need, we're going to be able to point you in the right direction. All right. Now, I was supposed to pause Sherry for a reason, because I'm like, oh, hey, I can clean my fruits and vegetables. I can do this, that, and the other thing, blah, blah, blah. Again, loving to talk, evidently. So I am going to show you, if you've seen this on other things, you're going to get to see it again with me. These are just little Angel Sweet tomatoes from, of course, Safeway and Albertsons, because that's where I tend to go. Well, that one might land on the floor. Oops, there it is. Okay, so we are going to be like, we took these home and we're washing them. Okay, the reason I'm moving around, I was like, when I saw this and I was being skeptical, I was like, okay, that one is filled more, that one's lower, that one has 2 less tomatoes. Like, I was all over being negative. So this is the Sheridan tap water, so I put that on these. Okay, and I have my fresh. Now you can use 11.5 fresh. You can use it stored for 2 weeks to a month or longer. You want to, you know, have a whole bunch right next to your washing machine ready to go for washing. Super. I like to use it fresh out of the machine. Fresh is best for the antioxidants, the active hydrogen, and the properties of the water when it comes out of the machine. So I want to clean these things, but I also want to infuse them with some antioxidants, because if I didn't eat the whole container, like if I had a big old container of them I bought at the store and I brought them home and washed them all, like these tomatoes will last twice as long. The cilantro that my sister likes, it will last 2 to 3 weeks after you soak it, wash it, immerse it, and then put it back. It'll last that long. That's like unheard of. So we're washing our fruits here. I guess technically tomatoes are fruit. You know, I was, you know, as a kid, I was like, oh, those are vegetables. But, you know, you always get the real smarty from school. And it'd be like, no, that's a fruit. Correct me. Okay, this also from Amazon. And this is just a sesame oil. Had a little brain pause there for just a second. So I'm putting these in here because I told you I, you know, clean and whatever, and I don't have my cook stove here with me. So I'm going to take, not that, Rita had to help me last week to know which one I had. This is the Sheridan tap water. We're going to pour it in here and see if I can get the water and oil to mix. And as you can see, the stuff is sitting on top of here and it's not mixing up. This is my squirt bottle, as you can tell. They're really kind of cool. They are plastic, but I just got them and bought them once and I'm using them over and over. I can put my 6.0 in here because I can clean windows with this one. I can also spray it on my face too. Like, how weird is that? I put the 2.5 in there so I can spray my countertops and stuff. But the 11.5 I also have in one, so I could change my mind on cleaning in like a nanosecond. And even though that machine is just like on demand, it's like right there ready to go. In case I change my mind, I want to have my squirt bottle right at my fingertips. So there we go. I want to keep this in your vision. So see, look at that. That's how quick it went to work and mixed with the sesame oil and just broke the protein bonds. It's just like, it's like sesame milk at this point, you know? And this is kind of this, even though I'm talking about cleaning, this is a good illustration of big water versus small water, right? Because big water, it just gets in and stuff feels like it's just sitting there. The small water, even the 9.5, when it gets into your body, it just starts blending in. Your body's like, oh, hey, there it is. I finally got something I can use even better. Like, it just goes to work. So that simply that's how it washes your clothes and it cleans your counters, and how the other waters get right into your system. Now, because you're not here and you might be skeptical, I saw this the first time and I was like, well, he's got some kind of crazy clear cleaner in there, and anyways, so I'm going to drink this. And this is at least, I don't know, 2 weeks old. Anyways, it's got kind of a slick taste to it, but it's just water. Okay. Like I said last week, I got places to be and go after this presentation. I got blueberries to go get because I like nature's M&Ms a lot. So like, I'm not going to be going to urgent care anywhere like that because I drank that. Now, Enagic does not endorse drinking 11.5 or 2.5, but if your kiddos get into it or your pets or whatever gets into it, you know what, you're not going to be calling the poison center. Okay. And when you get your unit, you know what, you can do what you want with it. Kind of like when you get a car, you can use the features on it and drive it. So, okay. Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. All right. I'm going to have to get more cups too. I tried to reuse them, but boy. Okay. So these are the oh, that's cute. These are the tap water tomatoes. Okay, there's the water there and on the little stand. Let's see if I can't. Oh yeah, I did that just as well. Super. Well, we want to keep it equal and fair, right? So I'm gonna dump the as well. Goodness. Okay, look at the difference in that water right there. See it? It's yellow, like Mountain Dew looking, sort of. And so, sometimes it will turn colors because sometimes there's dyes in it, sometimes there's not. They're getting smart. Sometimes I do this and there's no color difference at all. But let me tell you, the taste difference is like last week. You guys probably see me, but I was eating these and I thought, I'll just taste one of those. I got to double check myself, and I was like, yeah, that's disgusting. So I threw the rest of them out. But anyways, this is what's on them. Sometimes when kids hate fruits and vegetables, they hate this. This is what they hate. Okay, their taste buds aren't burnt out like my 53-year-old taste buds that have been around the tasting block a while, right? So sometimes when you get this stuff off your fruits and vegetables, your kids actually want them. I said last time too, and it's true, my friend's kid is like, Mom, I need some broccoli. Like, wow, nice. Anyways, so yeah, this makes a huge difference once you get these things off. And if you get to Sheridan, Oregon sometime, we will let you try this stuff out in person. So what I've showed you tonight, you can do all from one machine. This is the same SD501. It's just silver. So if you've got a stainless kitchen and you're like, hey, I'm ready to get my stuff coming, you're like, oh, wow, there's a silver one. Like, it looks really awesome. I have a silver one and they hold up phenomenal. Like, we've had the silver one since January of 2013. So our silver one's, 11 years old, 11 and a half. So they're great machines. So if anything that I told you here today, even if just a few of these things was possible or real, ask yourself, like, what is this worth? Because when I was dodging my friend, I was busy. I didn't think she knew what she was talking about. And I was like, you spent what? And I realized when I finally got around to coming to reality, like, this is nothing for my health and my diabetic and, and just all the money I was spending. When you're buying things little one at a time, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. But when you sit down and you pencil it out, you're like, whoa. So I got rid of all this stuff. Like, I don't need any of this stuff here. And I decided that I was worth the investment, that I had to invest in me so that I'm a people pleaser. I do like to help people. And so, like, if I don't take care of myself, I can't be here to help others. Okay. So I had to have a real heart to heart with myself and have a lot of self-awareness. And I said, you know what? It's time for me. And so I got my asset. And I want to share with you the fact that these are made by Enagic. Like, you're going to get all of us on your journey. Like, when you decide, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go across the start line. Like you get all of us, but you get Enagic. These folks were so concerned to make sure they could get this around the world where everybody has access to these units. Okay, globally, they're available all across the world. And the fact that they, they could have just kicked this out the door in the very beginning, but they worried about the certifications. They worried about the type of factory that this is being done in, the quality controls, like they are so incredible. So I was like, I cannot do a presentation without sharing a little about them, because without them, there wouldn't be Kangen Water. So let's watch this video real quick, and then I will get this thing passed off to Siha real shortly.
Enagic, a global pioneer of water ionization technology since 1974. Spanning over 5 decades, from humble beginnings in Japan to a global stage, Enagic's unwavering commitment to quality and innovation is evident. We've sold more than 2 million ionizers, transforming countless lives into healthier, happier ones. Enagic's financial stability, being a debt-free company, is not just a testament to our success, but also to our commitment to you and future generations. We're here for the long haul, ensuring the benefits of Kangen Water continue to flow. Each machine is certified to the highest standards, reflecting our commitment to quality and excellence, including International Standards Organization, ISO 13485 certification as a medical-grade device. As well, it is approved as a medical device by the Japanese Ministry of Health and Welfare and endorsed by the Japanese Association of Preventive Medicine for Adult Disease. Enagic is the gold standard for water ionizers worldwide. Enagic has offices in 25 countries and 42 locations, making this life-changing water accessible to everyone. Enagic is an original equipment manufacturer, and every machine is assembled by one technician for the utmost quality and controls in our medical-grade factory in Japan. Units have a 25 to 30-year lifespan. Other ionizers claim to be cheaper, better, or whatever, and the whatever is the case. Inferior products, metals and technology made in Korea, China, and many brands made by one company, and Enagic is the only medical-grade ISO 13485 water ionizer. Together with Enagic, we can set a course towards enhanced wellness and sustainability. Thank you for exploring the world of Kangen Water with us. Here's to a healthier, happier, and sustainable world.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being here this evening and sticking with us. Again, I said we had a lot to pack in a short time, but I really try to cover the full gamut of it, because I really want you to see like this can be as much or as little as you want it to be. So these are the products we talked about tonight: the Mighty K8, the SD501, and the Platinum, these three here. There's many ways to get them. These are the current prices as of today. So next steps are, if you are like, you know what, I've kind of figured out a few things. We notice that folks are usually in a few different pockets of thought at the end of these presentations. So if you're like, I really appreciate the information, it's just really not for me, I'm like, that's okay. I'm going to go with not now, because in my 12 years, I have seen so many people return. Timing's everything, right? So when the timing's right, if you're in this pocket, we are always here for you. The doors are open. If you are here and you're like, I want this now, I am like so excited. I'm going to get on my journey. Get with the person that invited you, or the person you saw this from, or the person that you're following. If you saw us on social media, get back with whoever invited you, okay? Because they're the ones, they care about you. They're going to make sure you're taken care of. If they need any help, they'll reach out to the rest of us so that we can support you all on your journey, okay? Easy ways, again, online order link, they got it all figured out, like no worries. If you've got more questions and you're like, I want to think about this, I've got some questions, I took notes, and I want to do my own research, okay, super, go ahead and do that this week. Come back next week, bring somebody with you, and bring whatever you found. We're here to be as transparent as we can and to provide as much information as we can. Also, and when I say can, sometimes we may not have the answer, but we're going to know where to go find it or get it. So it's not like I can't say something, but if I don't know the answer, I'm just going to tell you I don't know, but I am going to reach out to my wealth of teammates to get the answer for you. And lastly, I have the last but not least, Siha, my little green S here. And Siha's going to talk about, I mentioned a few of the ways this helps, you and your, like you may have heard all kinds of stuff from your friends, your family, whoever. but the journey with Enagic and Kangen Water, there's so much beyond your first step. So I want to turn it back to the expert who can share all of this with us. So thank you all for being here. I greatly appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jodie. That was phenomenal. As always, fabulous job bringing in all that technology and just summarizing it all for us. You know, she gave us so much information. We are all here. Something brought us together, and I just believe that, you know, there's no accidents. For me, how I got introduced to this was the fact that in 2008 I was so toxic. My body was so toxic. I just had bad habits. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't eating the right foods. I wasn't, you know, drinking the best water. I wasn't detoxing. So I was really sick. You know, our company says no health testimonials. This is my story, and my story, because I want to share it with you, because you guys are going to have your own stories, and that's the beautiful part of this project right here, is you're all going to have your own testimonials, your own story, and it's just going to be absolutely amazing. We can't wait to hear it. For myself, in 2008, I had severe acid reflux. I was coughing so bad for 7 years prior to learning about this water that I was getting to the point where I was coughing up blood. They stuck a camera down my throat. They said you needed to take Zantac for the rest of my life, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is what my doctor was telling me, and I just felt there was something better out there than just taking the chemical route. And I was introduced to a gentleman by the name of Wade Lightheart, who formulates supplementations, enzymes, probiotics. He writes health books sold all around the world. He's a pro trainer to top athletes as well as movie stars and other like normal people like you and I. And he taught me about the water, and I tried the water. And for me, I had to fix myself before I can fix anybody else. And I tried it reluctantly, skeptically, just like, you know, most of the people that are on this call. We were all skeptic at first. I tried it, and my symptoms were gone. Like within 4 days, my severe acid reflux and coughing, my story, absolutely gone. And it's been 15 years without a cough, without a doctor visit, without an insurance copay, you name that. So I've saved time, I've saved money, and I've saved pain. And that's what I want to do for my friends and family. So we want you to just try this and get your own results. That was one of the first fixes for me. The second fix was I was overweight. I was 168 to 172 pounds at my highest, and that was about 2006 to 2008. And that was due to the stress that I was a mortgage broker at the time, real estate development, everything else. And as you know, in the US, there was that crash there in 2008. I was very stressed. So I was very overweight for my height. I was about 30. I didn't get my BMI tested, but if I was to guess, knowing what I know now, it's probably between 32 to 36% body fat. I got on the water, helped with my severe acid reflux, and within like 2 years of learning about health and practicing health and drinking the water and getting more energy and doing more exercise, I've been able to maintain my body weight right now of 145 pounds at about 26% BMI. And that I did test. And so when I first started in 2008, it was 2012 to 2014 is my most dramatic weight loss. I went literally a whole suit size or two down. I remember, you know, I wanted this testimonial to be so profound in my health that I didn't know I was going to lose that much weight. I happened to be speaking on stage about this Kangen water and about the health benefits. I was able to wear the suit that I wore a year prior over my new skinnier suit. I'm just going to say that. And so, to the surprise of everybody in the crowd, I took off my suit on the outside and just threw it and said, that was the old me. This was the new me. And that was my new suit. And that's the test. For me, it's a test because my suits in my closets still fit me. So when I go, that's when I know that, okay, somehow, some way I've been able to maintain my body weight, or I've been able to maintain the shape of my body where I wouldn't have to get new pants or new jacket or whatever. That's my testament. And I wanted to share that with you, just for those of you that, you know, are looking for the best way to melt body fat is with water. And so I did that for myself with the body fat. Got my weight in check, got my BMI in check, shared it with my friends and family, my dearest, my wife, my children. We've been practicing this for 15 years, and we've saved so much money in healthcare. Whether it's suntan lotion, we don't put on the suntan lotion. If we would just condition our skin with 6.0 before we travel quite a bit, and we're out in the sun in Hawaii and Mexico and Southern California. When it's hot, we just condition our skin before we go out with the 6.0 beauty water. It's actually called beauty water on our machine, because the 6.0, like Jodie said, the different pHs of water are different uses. We condition our skin with 6.0. The same thing that she used with her hair, she mentioned with her hair. Go out in the sun, go swimming, go do all that stuff. If we did get sunburn, because we did a few times, we would spray on the 2.5. Some people said spray on the 11.5 for burns. Back then, I sprayed on the 2.5, and instantly that burn, it starts with an itch and then it starts to hurt, right? To the touch. Just with the 2.5, it's absolutely was gone. So we travel with our unit. Whether we go to Mexico for sunburns or for food poison. My daughter's had food poisoning in her stomach, and again, we just used the protocol of 2.5. She drank a couple ounces of that. 2.5 kills germs, E. coli, salmonella, bacteria, and it helped her totally with that. So we invested in our health, and it's paid back dividends. And like Jodie was saying, that not only does it pay back in health dividends, which is priceless, but it pays back in financial dividends as well. So this is an investment in your health, in your family's health, your friend's health. When you purchase one of these machines, if you share it with 9 people who buy the same thing as you, who purchase the same machine as you, they use your ID number, which the company gave you as soon as you got your machine. No maintenance fee, no yearly fee, no nothing. The company's going to send you automatically a thank you check, and a thank you check average between $300 all the way up to like $2,400 and beyond. And that's enough to capture my interest and go, wait a second, my machine's paid off. Now what? So as a business owner and an entrepreneur, I saw that my initial investment is paid back, and now it's 100% profit margin going forward. And so that really captured my attention when I first started to share this technology, and the company started to pay, a thank you check or commission check, and it was able to pay off my machine. And then I saw the light came on. I said, you know what? I think I can make a career out of this. And it's been 15 years later, and it's the only thing that I've ever done. And it's allowed me to, Enagic, and this Kangen business has allowed me to go global. Around the world. It's allowed me to thrive during the pandemic, continue our company's gross revenue or sales have gone up 21% every single year since 2019, and it continues to do so. We're breaking records like crazy. Why? Because the customer is always right, and the customer wants a product that they can use. The customer wants a product that will help them going into their future. So it's you and I are the customer. And once we get it, we all become raving fans of it. So we want you to try it, get it in your life. We can help you get one. Whoever sent you to this presentation, go back to them, ask them, hey, you know what was he talking about? How do I get my machine? How do I get my machine for free? How do I make this into a side gig or a full-time gig like myself? I'm absolutely so grateful and so blessed for this amazing lifestyle, this project, and the people that are around me. And I hope that you grab on like so many of us here on this call. And we're here to help you, like we said. So with that, I'm going to turn it right back over to Rita and Jolene, and they can come back in and help me go through the chat. If there's any questions that weren't answered yet, or new ones, or if you guys have any comments or questions, put them in right now before we get off the air. Rita and Jolene.
Somebody did private message and they said, can this water be saved as an emergency water supply?
I do. So I do. And the reason why is you can save all types of water, but when you start out with quality water, you're going to get more quality, right? So you know that the filter pulls out the chlorine and some of the contaminants. So therefore, you won't have chlorine in there in your clean container. I cycle through mine. I cycle through mine just there twice a year at least. And I cycle through at the same time that when I change my air filters in my furnace, and I change that twice a year in the spring. Excuse me, in the spring and in the summer, or sorry, excuse me, spring and fall before we go into the winter time. And that's the same time that I change out the water because it's all accessible where I'm at. So the short answer is yes, you can use this. It's better than any other water that you can save, or you can put in a container and put away for a long period of time. You are going to lose that property, like Jodie said. The property is going to vanish. When we say the property, the antioxidant, that negative reading that she showed you, but what's going to maintain is the alkalinity. It's still going to be a 9.5 purple, and it might go down to a dark blue, like an 8.5 pH. So that stays in there. The microclustering still is there. You can still make tea with it, but you won't have the chlorine, and you won't have the acidic water that the reverse osmosis, which is bottled water, is. So you can store that bottled water, but it's leaching your plastics, and you're also going to have the chlorine, or excuse me, the no minerals, no nothing in the reverse osmosis water.
Perfect. Thank you. Rita, do you have any others?
No, just I was wondering if we're going to be rereading out the questions for the benefit of the replay, because people on the replay won't get it.
We can answer really quick.
Yeah, so one of the questions was, if you bring the machine to a place where there is undrinkable water, and their example was Mexico, will the machine clean it up enough that you can actually drink it? So clean out the contaminants from the water, or do you buy water and put it through the machine?
That's a great question, and I have a great answer for it because I've traveled so much with this machine. So in California, like in the hotels in California, you'll see signs that says non-potable. You can't drink that water. It's recycled over and over in the hotel. So it says non-potable, non-drinkable, right? The machine can only take okay water and make it good water. It can take good water and make great water. It can take great water and make exceptional water. So that non-potable water is not good. It cannot take non-good water to make it okay. So that's a short answer for when the water is non-potable. You can't drink it even if you boil it, right? That's LA. In parts of Mexico, the only place that I've tried with my own personal machine is in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. So Cabo San, they say don't drink the water when you're in Mexico. Well, that's an old advertising marketing thing because they want you to be buying the drinks and the alcohol and everything else. Maybe back then, but no, nowadays or in the last 2 decades, the tourism in Mexico can't afford to not have good water for people. So in Mexico, it does work in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with the city water. I say the city water because there's some homes in Mexico that use the rainwater, and not just Mexico, but around the world, even in Southeast Asia. I've seen in Vietnam and Cambodia where I've traveled, they use the rainwater. Well, rainwater is acidic, and rainwater, when you put it through the machine, cannot make alkaline. You have to remineralize it before it can make alkaline water. So the short answer, it depends on where you're at, if it's city treated water or it's not treated water. I've tested Mexico water in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, personally myself, and it's better than in Houston or in Texas. Houston or in Detroit, parts of Houston and parts of Detroit where I tested it. And that's here in the US, and we think we've got clean water, but as we know, Flint, Michigan and all that, it's not clean water. So if the water's so terrible, the machine can't do it, cannot make good water. You're going to need a pre-filter, and we can help you with the pre-filter decisions because it's not one size fits all.
The other question was about people who are restricted from using iodized salt, if it's okay for them to use ionized water, if it's good. Personally, myself, having suffered from thyroid issues since I was a child, iodized salt is iodine that's added. It's some people, depending on their thyroid issue, they have a deficiency in iodine, so they should be using anything with iodine in it. Others, the iodine will actually contra, so you should stay away. So either or, it's fine. Yeah, the ionizer is okay for that. I don't know if you know of any thyroid issue stories, or because you've been in here for so long.
Yeah, with our Kangen water, just putting Himalayan salt in the water, you get a lot of your minerals. Iodine, you can just, the most potent iodine is if just the pure organic iodine drops that we put in the water. It's like an orange color, right? So for the iodine, you can add there are supplements that you can add to the water is what we do. So I've used both the iodine drops as well as iodine, or excuse me, Himalayan salt. But I don't use Morton's iodized salt, the white stuff, the bleach stuff. I don't.
So it depends on your issue. So if you're avoiding the iodine, you can use our ionizer. If you need added iodine, as you mentioned, they can add drops or things like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. That's it. No other questions.
Great,
And
guys.
everyone's unmuted, so if they'd like to, you guys can unmute yourselves.
Yeah, for sure. So this is all about the health, and again, feel free to ask us anything while we're unmuted. Want to thank you again for being here. We'll be here next week, same time, same place, with the same Zoom information. And then for those of you who want to learn more about locking arms and taking this project around the world, connect with us, because tomorrow we're going to have another Zoom call at 6 o'clock, and we'll share with you that information as well. Okay. All right, let's go help more people and be legendary. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next call. Bye for now.